So everybody, this is our not last. This is our webinar number 6 with founders of The4thBlock, Udaya and Gaurav, and we'll be talking today about how you can 10x your audience engagement with your Instagram brand. It's going to be super interesting, and I want to thank you all, everybody, for joining. My name is Jakub. I'm CMO of PitchGround. I'll be hosting this webinar. And if you have any questions during this webinar, feel free to ask them down in the comments, either on Facebook or here in Zoom, and we'll be answering them. So I think without further ado, I think we can jump right into it and start talking how to 10x your audience engagement with your Instagram brand.
So, hey guys, Uday here.
And this is Gaurav.
So we have a presentation put together for you guys. So let's begin. We're going to share our screen. And hope you guys can see our screen.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, brilliant. So let's begin. So the topic that we have chosen for our webinar today is how do you 10x your audience engagement with your Instagram brand. So engagement is everything. The more the audience are engaged with your product, your brand, the more they're going to trust you. The relationship is going to get built. More it will convert to sales, right? So moving on. First, before we talk about how to do engagement, let's tell you something why you should have engagement on Instagram platform itself. Instagram is blown up. It has 1 billion monthly active users, with almost 50% of these people actually following brands. If you think about it, that's like 1 billion is 1 in every 7 person on the entire planet is on Instagram. And everyone is out there actually following brands, interacting with them. So this is a clear-cut indicator that you should be on Instagram and actually making those conversations happen with your customers.
Right, and the engagement numbers are at around 4.21%, right? Like that many people are actively engaged with the brands that they're following. And like the engagement numbers are unheard of in the industry. The amount of engagement that the platform by its own nature provides, it's like 10 times higher than Facebook, right? 54 times higher than Pinterest and 84 times higher than Twitter. So when you say that, Instagram is blowing up, they actually mean it. I mean, these numbers are unheard of. And like if businesses are still not on Instagram, they should get on Instagram ASAP. Like, if you're still spending your dollars on Facebook and Twitter, I mean, they're better spent on Instagram because people, their audiences there are much more engaged. And like we have linked to
so the link we have given specifically because these numbers, when we say that, hey, your engagement with your audience will be 10 times more than any other platform, people are going to be like, hey, we don't buy those numbers. But that is the truth, and that is what is actually happening. And if anyone is more interested to learn about this, we have attached the link. Please go ahead and check it out.
Why do you think that engagement is so high on Instagram?
One, basically, it's the nature of the product itself, right? The way it's designed, right? Like they have like crafted the product to encourage engagement. One very simple thing that, that's very relevant to us as well, that this idea of vanishing stories, right? That they go back in 24 hours creates an automatic hook, right? If you're following someone and they post something and they don't watch that, right? Tomorrow you're not going to get that. That automatically, gives a hook for people to come back because they have this idea, right, that they might lose on some wonderful content. So
I see. Okay.
And the entire product is, has like all these small things built into it that, gradually drive up their engagement. So, I mean, it's just the product itself, right, that has been very beautifully executed to drive engagement.
So next.
Thank you.
Okay, now go on to answering the cardinal questions that drive engagement. Is your posting frequency? What when you should post and how often you should post is often, there are several schools of thought regarding this. If you ask a B2B brand, they have an answer. If it's going to be automotive, they have a different answer. If you're going to be a small mom and pop shop, you have a different answer. But what we have done is we have understood, we have gone inside the extensive amount of literature out there. And this is what we could come up with. The average is make at least 1 or 2 regular posts a day, and also do at least 3 to 5 stories a day.
Right, and if you have an Instagram business account, then Instagram gives you some sort of insight insights, right? Like they're like not very extensive, but like they're enough for you to gauge, what kind of audience is coming. The most important thing is if you post regularly, right? And this is all after your insights mean only, after you start building that kind of content. But like after you started posting, right? And you look at these insights, you'll start getting an idea of, when does your audience come. So for example, if you're running an e-commerce shop, right? Maybe people are bored in their offices and they're, scrolling through your products, right? So they might visit you on weekdays in office hours, something like that, right? So you need to figure out that section of audience that your product is targeting, your business is targeting, and like craft your entire strategy around those timings. So that is a very low hanging fruit that you should sort of work towards.
Yeah. So Instagram gives you access to when your story. Your posts and stories are viewed. Look into your insights, find that number, and test those areas of when the graph is going up. Post in those times and see which one gets your engagement. Maybe the highest performing timeline might get a lower engagement. You might get more views, but that need not convert into sales or engagement itself. So make sure that you test often with timings and the amount of postings that you do. This is very vital. Please, many marketers I see and many businesses that we see on a regular basis take this for granted. They just say, let's post 2 stories, but make sure you actually track when and how often you post. That should be tracked, and also ideally should align with increasing engagement as well.
And just one more thing I wanted to point, right, that once you've figured out the posting frequency, right, and at what time, right, there are a lot of tools that let you automate your posts to go out at that time. And 4thBlock also provides one of that as one of its functionality. So, but like you can use any tool, right? But the idea is that, once you figured out that our audience comes online at 11 a.m. in the morning, right, make sure that the story automatically goes out.
I see,
and that
okay.
You can do that manually, you can do it in an automated way, but make sure that the story lands your feed every day at 11 a.m. and that is going to give a lot of boost to your engagement numbers.
Yeah. So next, okay, a lot of marketing, the content that is being pushed out on Instagram. Sadly, many brands do not get it. They start actually, start preaching. They just push their products down the users' throats. Instead of having a meaningful conversation with your audience, what they do is, hey, this is an offer, take it. Hey, this is a product I'm having, see. Instead of actually understanding why the audience would actually want it in the first place and actually giving them an option to converse with you. Because all the posts that we see generally from brands are like God talking into eternity. It's not. Marketing is more personalized. Marketing is storytelling at its crux of it. Embrace that you're a storyteller. You need to get that into your system and not talk like a billboard out there. Hey, see my post on a highway. Don't do that.
Yeah, so that is very important, right? That what people miss generally is like marketers coming from conventional display advertising background, right? Like we have all made this mistake, right? Like, so whatever we have learned on the conventional platform like Google in display advertising, right, that will not transfer here. That knowledge is basically you have to sort of keep that for Google itself. But like here, right, this is a new platform. There is certain aesthetic that we need to follow, and of course these are our opinions, but like feel free to see these brands, right, like how they are doing. So their entire narrative, entire marketing campaign is very coherent, and they try to converse with their audiences rather than pushing advertising down there.
If you see, we have placed a screenshot of a post that was done by Lonely Planet. If you see, it has a certain aesthetic to it. There is a map on which they have placed a hipster camera, there is a latte, there is a watch, they have a passport, and there is a product as well. The product is the guidebook to Scotland. Right. All they could have done is they put it in the center, say a big photograph of the entire book and say, hey, this book is now available. They didn't do that. What they've done is they've crafted it nicely, in which it evokes that sense that, hey, I will take that camera, I have my passport, I'll put on my watch, I'll go drink coffee in Scotland. Why do I need this book? Because I'm going to do all this. So it is crafted. There is a sense of personalization. There's a sense that evokes that sense of curiosity. Work goes into it.
Right.
So we recommend that people, brands actually learn from people like companies like Lululemon, Kim Kardashian, Red Bull, Nike, Lonely Planet are just hitting it out of the park on their Instagram game. So go ahead, look at these brands and see how they're, placing their narratives.
Right, right.
Yeah. So next.
I can actually see a lot of brands doing this mistake, that they are not creating the content natively for a platform. That they will just take whatever works on a Facebook or a YouTube, and they will just stamp it everywhere. And it just doesn't work like that. You need to create the content natively for a platform. And especially like big brands like Nike and not actually Nike, but Pepsi and really big brands, they usually do that. They will just take their 30-second ad commercial from TV, and they will just post it on Instagram, which doesn't make any sense. It's not native for a platform. So you need to think about the context.
Yeah. So another adding to it, another new trend that has been sweeping across Instagram is authenticity. Okay, be authentic with what you're messaging. Be authentic with what you do. Do not say, for example, we have showed the brand page of Instagram page of this brand called Airy. Airy is in the women innerwear segment. They are taking on the likes of Victoria's Secret, which is a massive billion-dollar company. I mean, a company with $1 billion in revenue every year. But if you see the kind of posts that they make, right? These posts are relatable. They do not have like picture perfect calendar, calendar models out there. They have regular women who actually, and these regular women are the models that they use to promote their products. Now relatability comes into play. Then authenticity actually comes in. Hey, that person who's actually using this product is more like me, and not like a model who has been chiseled to perfection.
Right. So the idea is that this is just one example, right? Yeah. But like being authentic, right? It's anyways a good thing for a business, right? Like, and it does not cost a lot of money as well, right? Like, so for example, right, if a small brand selling shoes or a T-shirt, right? What if you run a campaign and ask your users, right? Hey, you have our product site. Can you send us your pictures and like with attribution, right? We post it on our page, right? So that sort of user-generated content with brands, right, gives a lot of voice to your business.
So next, get creative. Get creative. So, Jakob, do you recognize this particular photograph?
Of course I do.
Yes. The entire world knows this, right? This one single photograph of a random egg that took down Kylie Jenner's 18 million likes photograph. It came as a challenger to it. Some guy somewhere said, hey, let me put this. There is a picture out there posted by Kylie Jenner, which has about 18 million. Let's put a cumulative effort to actually take it down and make it the most liked egg in the world. And it got out, it just blew, and it ended up with like say 50 million plus likes. So what we say is get creative with what you're doing.
Right. So I mean, creativity, you don't have to, be very, you don't have to think a lot. Like everything that you do in your day-to-day things, right, can be creative. People are very creative in general, right? All you have to do is, you have to showcase that creativity to the world. You don't have to do an egg campaign, right? Like that was something for the free, this thing, right? Like, but whatever small things that you do with your business, right? Like the way you run your business, do you do some hack, right? Something that you think that can help other people who are running other businesses, or anything unique that you think you or some of your employees does, right? Like that could be creative, right? Like just try and get it in front of people. So the entire idea is that to have a voice, right, and make people understand that there are human beings behind the Instagram business account, right, who are just like us, and they're then able to relate to you.
Yeah. Interesting. What would you recommend, like some, I don't know, boring industry company, how to get creative? So I don't know, let's say that I'm selling web hosting for like big business clients. How can I actually get creative and make something fun on Instagram?
Okay, web hosting, maybe I can answer, right? Like let's just say that you're running web hosting, right? Like, but you will have clients, right? Just tell people that hey, this is our client in a weird industry. Probably this is a client in an industry that I know of a guy, right, who runs a website for poultry farming, right? Something unique, right? You're hosting a site for chickens that are being farmed, right? Show them pictures, something like that. That people need. People don't really know that guy running a poultry farm will have a website, right? And the people can actually order from there. So something unique, right? That you notice in your everyday business. That is probably interesting content, right? Like how small businesses are running. Something that anyone would like to in your audience segment would like to hear that.
Yeah. So
Okay.
another thing, mixies are generally seen as boring kitchen appliances until blended came. The entire blended blend campaign blew it out.
Right.
Right.
Very interesting.
They threw everything that was there. They said they took a mixie in front of people. They said, "Hey, we're gonna throw in the new iPhone XS into it and let's see if it's gonna blend." That video got insane amount of engagement, shares, and eyeballs.
Yeah, and like there's this channel, right, where the press thing where he presses.
Oh yeah, fluid press.
Where they try to smash and crash things on camera, right? I mean, those are not they're very low hanging fruit, right? I'm not expecting people to go and start doing things to get views, but like people are creative in general. It's just that that guy went ahead and recorded him doing certain things, and that sort of became viral.
Absolutely, yeah.
And like if you're not, and like what will go viral, you cannot predict, right? Like people might like something, it might go viral. But the idea is to be authentic, that we showed in the last slide, right? If you're authentic, creativity will just follow.
Yeah. And don't feel shy or don't feel overly concerned to slightly step out of your comfort zone. Right? See, a kitchen knife might be used only in kitchen to cut vegetables. I've seen plenty of knives that people just take a single paper and they'll be like slash. The paper goes into two.
Yeah.
Right? So that I want that knife. I'm not going to use it. I know it's expensive. Hey, it's cool. It cuts a paper across. Think how sharp it should be.
Yeah.
So just comfort zone, right? Do something and make sure. And people out here, even if it fails, if it quote unquote fails, it's okay. But do not keep trying. Right? Creativity is an outcome of not of quality but quantity. Just keep pushing random ideas out there which aligns with your brand as well.
Yeah, that's very important, right? You can get creative, but if it's not aligning with your brand, then basically people will get confused, right? It has to come out as a coherent story.
Yeah, and especially if you're starting, you have no idea what will work and what won't. So you just need to like get out of the comfort zone and think outside of the box and come up with like really crazy ideas and just measure which one will get the most engagement, and then just rinse and repeat, like
on with it.
Yeah.
So next next is use everything. When we say use everything, Instagram is like a Swiss Army knife in itself. It has so much of features that many often people think Instagram is about just posting a photo and posting a video. Do not just stop with just posting a photo and just a video. Make a simple normal post, and you can now make a stories with your photographs and videos. Go ahead, create long form content, post it on your IGTV, go live.
Right. And like we have covered this in past webinars as well, but like Instagram lets you create polls, ask questions, use stickers and all those things. Like anything that you think that will drive more engagement. Hey, do I put this? Am I talking to my audience or not? Right. For example, you're in a poll. Go post long form content on IGTV. You can go live once in a while, right? So all these things, right, eventually add up in like giving a narrative to your brand.
And it breaks the lot of monotony associated with the brand, right? You just post one photograph a day. I'm a brand, I'm going to post one photograph a day. Why? Because I have other things to do. Don't do that. Take an initiative. There are so much out of tools that our Instagram provides you. Create a small chat, create an interesting story, add a chat sticker to it, create an engagement pod within Instagram. Let people talk about it. Engage with them. There is a free access to all these people which was never available in any other platform in the past.
Right.
Now it's there. Go after it.
Right.
So next, the essence of Instagram itself is hashtags. Hashtags are everywhere in Instagram, and in the old ages, in earlier time of web search engines, keyword stuffing was a big thing. Now Instagram has bought out something called a new demon. It's hashtag stuffing. Hashtags in discoverability, but I see posts with people putting up say 30 hashtags, 15 hashtags, 20 hashtags. I'm lost. Most people are. But what we went ahead and looked at other very successful brands, how they're doing it. What they do is they only use about say 5 to 7 hashtags, relevant hashtags at the most.
Right, and the keyword is like relevant. Basically, if you have a product and you're using a hashtag, right, don't plug in, your other products or like other related hashtags, right? Like it just confuses the users, right? If they're like 10 different hashtags, people have like earlier people used to do SEO optimization, now people are trying to do hashtag optimization, and they're trying to bring the same tricks of that universe into this universe, and that really does not translate very well. So I mean, hashtags are a way to help your users discover your content, but like if you add irrelevant hashtags, people won't be happy, right? Your users and the other users were discovering your content via that hashtag, right? And eventually Instagram is going to figure out that this guy is spamming hashtags, and they're like going to push your content down, right? So don't do that. Like make sure that the hashtags are relevant. You use them judiciously and like use them regularly in your posts. Yeah.
So next, partner with other people. Instagram is not for you, one marketer and one brand at a time. No, not really. Partner with other people. When we say partner with other people, what we mean is partner with an influencer. For example, it could have been a blogger. It could have been someone else who's running another similar product in another vertical. Do a takeover with them. Spend some time. Let these people run your Instagram account for a day. And another thing which you can possibly do is use generously user-generated content. Run polls with it.
Right. So all these things, the important part is that, you know, you should, I mean, it's all about community building, right? So who can like, you know, who can you co-create with? It's like your community, right? So UGC is a low-hanging fruit, right? You can ask people to post content, and then there will be influencers who will be following your brand, right? Can you invite them to send stories to your brand, to your account, right? And like you can do vice versa as well, right? So for example, you have an Instagram account, right? You go ahead and like create content for other people, right? So that way, you know, this is the old world of, you know, cross posting that we used to do, right? Like, but we here, it's not exactly the same, but like, you know, similar principles still apply.
Yeah. So, okay, now we think this is very, very important. If you are on Instagram and you want to learn it from the master, go ahead, follow Kylie Jenner's account. This girl she's 21. She has made $1 billion company out of just her influencer and celebrity status within Instagram. She has mastered it. Honestly, last year, I think her company made about like 500 million in revenue. Like that is those numbers that we generally associate with huge corporations. But here, this is one person running one Instagram account who has managed to actually, you know, convert her brand presence into an asset. Look out for the kind of content that she posts. The best part about Kylie Jenner's profile is the content is a nice mix of a peek behind her life along with the products that she promotes. So if you see that her post has a bio has links to Kylie Cosmetics and Kylie Skin, which are two other brands that she you know, owns and stands for. So these brands, so people when they follow Kylie Jenner, they get access to these things. And as her account grows, their you know, her brands also continue to grow.
Right. I mean, like she's just an example, right? There are like a lot of other brands that you can like watch and learn from, right? Like, you know, you can follow her as well. But like, you know, there are like a lot of other brands that we mentioned. For example, Red Bull is one that I know of, right? Like their marketing game is like very top notch. So I mean, the idea is to, you know, see what they're doing and like, you know, try and see that if you could do something similar. Of course, the catch is that, you know, these brands have like millions of dollars in advertising budgets and production budgets that you don't have. So I mean, but yeah, you can still learn from them and see, you know, how you can try and match their quality.
Yeah.
And there is where the tools like 4thBlock come in. I'll like nicely plug my tool as well. but that's true, right? Like, how do you fight with someone like Red Bull, right, who has like millions of dollars in production budget? I mean, they are like not even 4thBlock. There are other tools as well that, you know, you can automate a lot of these things, and like, you know, even if you don't have the design chops to match them, there are tools that let you do this at a very cheap and like nicely designed way.
So this is the most important thing when it comes to, if you want to like boost your engagement, be consistent. Do not try any of this. Do not post for a week and just disappear for another 5 days and then come back and don't complain that, hey, my engagement metrics are down. Don't do that. Have a discipline to post content and interact with your audience on a regular basis. Consistency over a period of time will triumph large marketing budgets which are at, at the disposal of your competitors. So here is something that you can stick to and make sure that it converts into, sales over a period of time.
Right. And the most important thing of being consistent is that, the algorithms that are like running, right, that make sure that your content surfaces in people's feed. They basically have this signal. I mean, there are like tons of other signals as well, but this is a very important signal, right? That if you are a consistent, the algorithm knows that there is going to be fresh content, and they're going to come back to you and like show that content. Everything else falls apart, right? You can have $1 million advertising budget, and if you're not consistent enough, right, the content is never going to hit your users. So being consistent is the most important thing, right? You have to come online every day and like post content, post it regularly, post it as often as you can, but be consistent. Don't be sporadic, right? You cannot have like a boost of 10 posts one day and like go offline for like say 2 weeks. I mean that does not really that's not a good idea at all.
So I think, and we are done. So I think if you so I think these are the engagement strategies, metrics. There is no magic out there. There is no magic pill or a silver bullet. If you do this, hey, your engagement is going to go up through the roof. No, there is a sequence of events, structured steps that you need to take on a consistent basis, day in and day out. Do it for a period of time, then you will see the graph climbing up. Your sales will go, the number of likes and the number of comments that you receive will go up. People start talking more about your brand. It is a byproduct of you being consistent, sticking to the fundamentals, and you will get suitably rewarded over a period of time.
Yes.
I love it. Guys, thanks a lot for amazing preparation as usual, actually. So how exactly can the 4thBlock help us with engagement, and how can we actually leverage 4thBlock to boost engagement? Because we're talking about stories only, right? So what would you recommend, like the #1 thing if you want to increase engagement? How can we use 4thBlock to do so?
Yeah, so your engagement has two very important inputs. One is the quality of your stories, and two is the quantity. Basically, how frequent you post and how good is your content, right? So where we can help is in these both things, right? Like the idea is that if you'd want to use like a tool like 4thBlock, you'd want to create a lot of stories at a very low cost, right? So that the smaller guys can match the kind of production quality videos that Red Bull produces or these bigger brands produce, right? So what we have done is 4thBlock has nicely designed templates that you can totally customize to look and feel like your brand, and we let you do that at scale. So if you come and you have like a product, say you're selling something on Shopify, right? You come and like paste that URL, paste that product, give us that product, we'll generate 50 stories for you that you can cycle very quickly. So if you had to produce one video, it will take probably 3-4 hours, or you'd have to outsource it. But now with 4thBlock, right, you can create say 50 to 60 videos every day and like post it as often as you want. Now you have a problem of plenty, right? You have a choice of what videos to post. So 4thBlock helps you create more stories and like creates more beautifully designed stories, right? So if you just use 4thBlock, you can like pretty much be rest assured that your engagement numbers are going to go up. That is a guarantee that we can give.
Yeah, exactly. And it's actually really simple as you described. You just choose a template, or you just paste the product URL. You edit whatever you want, including colors, including keywords, titles, prices, discounts, everything. You upload your own image, or you just choose the image 4thBlock actually scraped from the product URL. You can customize colors, of course. You can select audio from 400 royalty-free music, and you can just download and post it. Now it's available for $49. I think it's a no-brainer. Normally, like creating 50 stories would cost you thousands if you would have to pay for like professional video editor. Now you can buy your license for as low as $49. So go to pitchground.com/the4thBlock and buy your license right now. And if you missed anything from our webinars, there are actually replays available. Some people were asking, so you can just go to the4thblock.pitchground.com/replays, and you will find all the replays from all previous days. It's uploaded on YouTube. It's available on our Facebook page too. And tomorrow there will be one last webinar, and it will be about how to tell your brand stories like a big name brands without hiring a creative team. So we will go a little more into technicals, and we'll be inspired from the big brands in the industry, how they leverage stories. So make sure you will join tomorrow as well, and make sure you will check pitchground.com/the4thblock. So I think that's pretty much about it, guys. What do you think?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, amazing. I don't see any questions, so I think it's slowly time to wrap it up. Thanks a lot for everybody for joining. Thanks a lot for your thorough preparation as always, guys. It was amazing, and I will see you tomorrow, same day. Same time, and yeah, looking forward.
Yeah. Take care.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Bye, guys.